What's good, family? I am Benjamin Seven, and this is TCC, where we talk about truth, culture, and community. And yes, we are back again to put that work in. I got another good one for us today. For real, I do. I said I would be back to talk about mental health, and this is something that I'm very passionate about. Shoot, we all suffer from mental health, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. And I'm thankful that I've overcome the obstacles that held me back for so long. And I just want to highlight a few things about it, you know what I mean? I believe if we have open dialogue about the things that affect us, it could do a lot of good in our community. And we don't like to talk about mental health. It makes us feel weak or vulnerable. And I understand, because most people in your community, in your surroundings, your actual people, you really can't trust. So I get it. If this is your first time, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Hit the post notification bell to be caught up on all the content, and give this video a thumbs up. And as you've seen in the title, we are going to be talking about my main man Kanye West and the interview he did with Big Boy, and he touched on a few things about mental health. Now we know Kanye, he's a firecracker, you know what I mean? You never know what you're gonna get with him. So strap in your seatbelt, cause he gonna take you for a ride. My man gonna say some very, very interesting things, and he gonna drop a couple gems. He really did. So I'm excited about this interview. I'm taking an objective stance. I'm not being biased or anything like that, but I do want to highlight some things that my man said so we can come to a better understanding about mental health and what it is he's subscribing to right now. If you don't know, Kanye is a Christian and he's professing it. He got a new album coming out called Jesus is King, and he talk about a lot of this stuff in this interview. So this is gonna be a good one. Rob, what you got? Let's go.
I want to play something for you real quick. I think we did this probably 10 years ago, 6 to 10 years ago. And just hear what you say here.
I'm not just a musician. I'm a Christian revolutionary visionary products person. I ain't here to dance for you. I ain't here to do a two-step. Right. That's just a piece. That was just my end. And now I want to create. I want to create content. I mean, eventually, 10 years from now, I just want to create for the church. Period. I'm Christian. I'm designed like the new Sistine Chapel. Let's rewind.
So
I'm not just
that
a
was
musician.
probably 10 years ago. Did you always feel like this was a plan? Or was that always in the as far as the windshield, or does it look like it was a plan now that we're kind of in the rearview mirror? Did you always know that this was, you were going to end up here? I mean, 10 years ago, you kind of said it.
Yes, but I definitely was lost. I got lost. I got caught up in my own ego, my own strategy, my own ideas. I tried to hold everything in my own brain, and then I had to let go and just let God and put it back in his hands.
So as you heard, my man is a known Christian now. He's professing Christianity. And one thing that Christianity loves and seeks out are those who are mentally weak. And they play on that, and they want to keep you that way. And the way that they keep you that way is they focus in on having blind faith. That's the only way to get approval from Jesus, is to just believe. And if you actually study the Hebrew language in the actual Bible, the definitions, the language and the culture that those people who wrote it subscribe to, you will understand that there's no such thing as blind faith. For my people who love the New Testament only, you can go to Hebrews and it'll tell you, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The two key words is substance and evidence, which both can be seen. Faith without works is dead. You cannot blindly go through life. If you actually want to talk about real faith, it comes from the Most High, and that is by his spirit, or ruach. And if you define the word ruach, it is breath, wind, and mind. The church does not want you to use your mind. They want you to blindly believe. And that directly affects your mental health. You'll be sitting there waiting on stuff to happen, and it never do. I know people who've been up in church 30, 40 years and still doing bad, still waiting on some form of salvation, and it just ain't coming. When you could have actually believed and then worked for what you want, you bit the bug, man. You bit the blind faith bug, and it ain't working for you. So Watch out for doctrines like that. It directly affects your mental health. Let's keep going.
Do you feel like if you didn't go through everything that a Kanye West go through, that you could see and have the texture of what you're doing right now?
I think he had to send me through some more experiences to be able to cast a wider net when he was ready to use me. Like, mental health, you know, having a nervous breakdown, going to the hospital, and having the stigma of being called crazy, actually, it didn't make my, it made me more relatable.
Big Boy was holding on too, man, trying to keep up with what my man was saying. But like he said, he had to go through a lot of things. Now, most Christians have been through a lot. Before they got to the church, they've been through a lot. That's mainly who Christians seek after, people who down and out. Lay members. Most of us as blacks have been dealt a rough hand. So you prime real estate for Christianity, man. Kanye has money, but he was mentally weak. The religion of Christianity swooped down and it preyed on that. And he said because of the things that he went through, he became more relatable. I wonder to who? Let's keep going.
Me being taken to my lowest, you know what I'm saying, being called a coon by my own people. The guy that said George Bush don't care about black people is a coon because I didn't say I'm gonna vote on Hillary Clinton. Right? And that actually made me more relatable. You can't imagine when I go through middle America, like, let me tell you, it's like, I was driving fast. I was looking at a property, this is like 4,000 acres we were gonna buy out here. And I'm trying to drive fast to the freeway and I hit a red light and the guy said, now, how you going, where you gotta go so fast that you gotta drive this and cut me up? Wait, Kanye? Oh, thank you for what you're doing for our country. Thank you so much. Like, you have no idea. You be out here in LA and New York and they'll have you all jacked up on Mountain Dew. They'll be having you thinking that, like, this reality is not real.
So that's who Kanye has become more relatable to. Middle white America. White America who directly descend from the slave masters who founded this great country. You know why them people love you? Because they see that you prime and ready to promote their agenda, to be talking crazy to your people that you have detached yourself from due to subscribing to this religion. Let's keep going.
Are connected to the idea of having their own land. People are connected to the idea of service to Christ. This is the Bible Belt. This is America. This is where we are free to worship Jesus in the open.
As you heard the man say, this is the Bible Belt where we are free to worship JC in the open. I got a question for y'all. How many people know what the first slave ship's name was? It was called Jesus of Lubeck. Jesus of Lubeck. Go to your Google, your nearest Google search engine, and look it up. The first ship that brought us over was Jesus. We came over here to be enslaved by Jesus. Jesus brought us over. And that's the name of the one we calling on for salvation? The irony. That same Jesus that founded the Christian religion is the same Jesus that founded this great country that rode our backs to the prominent status that it has today. Most of our people are bound up in this religion, and you wonder why we have poor mental health. My man Denzel saying, The Great Debaters, the slave master wants to take the mind but use the body. That's basically what we are. That's what Kanye is right now. He's a tool being used to promote an agenda. His mental state, his mental health has been taken. And it has been taken by way of this religion. Let's keep going.
It's not a matter whether you like it or who like it, we are in a country where we allowed to like whatever we like. I love Jesus Christ. I love Christianity. I love the Sistine Chapel. I love all the paintings. I feel that Christianity, there's no, people make spoofs of it. I'll be looking at Family Guy, and I like Family Guy. I like Seth MacFarlane, right? But he makes jokes about the Christian faith. And I'm sure that's the way he was brought up, but I understand because North, when she talks about church, it's a positive connotation. A lot of us in those four walls, it felt like we were stuck in the pews. So like what we said 10 years ago, that you inspired for me to go there, we are now actualizing that.
Do you feel like, and since you did get there, do you feel any of the pressures when people say Kanye did let him down? When we think about George Bush don't care about black people, that's when everybody was like, oh, Kanye. And then when we look at Kanye now, I mean, if we agree or not agree with you, just when you say the wrong color hat.
Yeah, think about this for a hat. This is one of my main things. It's like, what is the culture? It's like, man, this ain't for the culture. We doing something for the culture. We are orphans, bro. We are cultureless. We don't have our own culture. We sign to culture vultures. We sign our life away. Our contracts are culture vultures. Think about everything that's cultural. Taking a knee is cultural. Being on social media is cultural. Wearing high fashion is cultural. Pushing a foreign is cultural. All these things are not owned by our culture. So who designed the culture? What does it mean to do it for the culture?
So like I told y'all, I want to be objective as possible so truth can be conveyed. So when I dig into some of the things that he says, it's not an attack at him, it's just fact. But then I will also agree with some of the things that he says. And I tell you all the time, we do not have a culture. We subscribe to things that are a detriment to us, and we call that culture. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. It really is. That's a gem that my man dropped. But unfortunately, what he does not understand is the religion that you subscribe to is one of the main reasons we don't have a culture. Our culture was taken and Christianity was beat into us. That's why we subscribe to things that don't make sense. That's why the rap culture that you're speaking of and knocking on and saying you separating yourself from, that's why that's the only culture that most of our young people lean to, because the religion that you subscribe to has taken it. Let's keep going, my friend. This is gonna get good.
That's why I do it for Christ.
When you bring Christ in, that's a hell of a blanket. That's a beautiful big blanket. But I do have to kind of sit with you and talk about when we say the beliefs, the things like that. And this isn't an interview that I wanted to talk about anything political, but you did kind of go there. You know what I'm saying? You did kind of go there under the guise of, of Christ, and I understand that. But do you feel, and we haven't had a chance to talk, do you feel like people didn't understand Kanye at the time? How much of that was Kanye? How much of that was Kanye not being on his mental game? How much of that was Kanye on the breakdown and the breakthrough?
I love this also because Kobe Bryant won 5 championships. He sprained all kind of muscles all through his body, tore ligaments. And for people to go to Kanye West, where I'm playing in the highest level of mental sport, I had Mark Zuckerberg wanting to meet with me. You know what I'm saying? I have people come to want to meet with me that are makers of the world at this point. So I'm playing at this mental sport as a black man, post-Pac, post-Biggie, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, in debt, completely controlled. The management knows how much exactly you're making on your tour, and it's just $2 less than what your house costs. And I'm ending up in debt every year. And then I have a breakdown.
So to all my people, as you just heard the man say, he's been on the highest level of entertainment. And because of all the things that he had to deal with, that messed up his mental health even more. So my people, I see a lot of us, I'm meeting a lot of new people through YouTube. And I see a lot of us want to be rappers and want to be makeup artists and want to be divas and vixens and want to be fly guys and the whole nine. People just want to get to the money and get some level of status. And I'm telling you, when you climb those heights, you have to conform to a certain way of life. And that's not built to sustain your mental health. He just said it. I'm going to take his word for that. You know what I want out of life? I want to be self-sufficient, to be dependent upon my creator and my creator only. That's all I want. You can keep the fame, you can keep the gajillion dollars, you can keep all of that. Just let me be straight to the point where I'm taken care of, I can plan for the future, I can store up for my next generation, and I can help out my people. That's all I want. But for y'all that just want money just cuz and fame just cuz, it's not built for your mental health. We've seen so many celebrities take their lives. This brother had a mental breakdown multiple times because it just ain't. It's not built for the mind. And we gonna get into that a little bit more. He about to drop another gem. I just want to put y'all on alert. Gem alert, gem alert, gem alert. We had to hang on. You know what I mean? This ride is getting a little turbulent to trying to keep up with a mind like Kanye. So I just want to narrate it a little bit for my people. He about to drop a gem. Check it out.
What do you say to people that say you turned your back on the culture or
Exactly,
black people?
100%. I have turned my back on the idea of victimization mentality. We are locked up. We went from 1 and 4. We went from 1 and 4 to 1 and 3, but we always pointing at the white people, but yet we want to spend all of our money on foreigns. We want to spend all our money on luxury as opposed to going and buying some land. America is for sale, and there's a lot of barren land. Disney bought a lot of it in Florida. But the culture has you focused so much on fucking somebody bitch and pulling up in a foreign and rapping about things that could get you locked up and then saying you about prison reform. Like, it's, bro, we brainwashed out here, bro.
So, I've been saying it for quite some time. I got quite a few videos on the channel about the culture that we have subscribed to. And I got a video about Jay-Z. I got a video about rappers becoming the new slaves. I got a video about Tyler Perry. And all of these videos are talking about the culture that they want us to subscribe to. And I've been saying that it's not a culture. It's some trash. It needs to be tied up and thrown away. Hitting somebody girl and being fly and fresh and stupid is not cool. That's not cool, but that seems to be the aim of most brothers. I just want to get some girls, I just want to get some paper and look fly, and I'm straight. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's subscribing to this dummy culture that they have given us. It's not real. Wake up. When you buy land, like the brother said, that land could be passed down to your children. That's how the Caucasians got up. We always want to point at them and talk about the head start that they got, which I ain't saying they didn't, but that's what they did. They bought land and they was able to use it for collateral or build on it or pass it down to their kids. It's a bargaining chip. It's something that we should be seeking after instead of seeking after Balenciagas and red bottoms and Louis Vuittons and all that. Like, that's some trash, man. Some trash. And this man, I can respect him for this. He done had it all. And he telling us that's stupid. That's a point for his mental health. I give him that. Let's keep rolling.
Come on, man. This is a free man talking. Democrats had us voting Democrats for food stamps for years, bro. What is you talking about? Guns in the 80s, taking the fathers out the home, Plan B, lowering our votes, making us abort our children. God should not kill.
Finally, I heard some real culture. Thou shalt not kill. Do you know what that is, family? That is what they colloquially call the commandments. That is what we know to be the Torah, the instruction of the Creator that were given to a people to develop culture for them. That instruction also said, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not have no other gods. All of these wonderful instructions that were given to a people that actually make up the Bible. But then you get Christians who only want to rock with the New Testament because that benefits their agenda. The real meat of the matter is not highlighted. That's not no Christian book, like I said. That's cultural literature of a people. Can you imagine if our people subscribe to that one commandment, thou shalt not kill? Would Chicago look the way it looked? Would Cali have looked the way it looked in the 80s and early 90s? Would Cleveland look the way it look right now? Would Detroit, Baltimore, Philly, y'all know where y'all at? If all of our people subscribe to that one commandment. See, that's real culture. So I appreciate Kanye for saying that, but his Christian religion is not built upon it, so, you gotta take it with a grain of salt at this point. But I'm telling y'all, this is what we deal with. Real culture, truth. That's the law. That's the Torah. The Torah develops culture for you. And then no matter where you at, if you subscribe to that culture, you can build a community. That's good game right there. That's good. This is what I love. Mental health. And it all starts with the Torah. Let's keep going. We almost done.
They want to get you. Let me tell you something. This is something that Zane denounced that I know for a fact. The game Angry Birds has a motion like this. And if you remember, girls are just not known for playing a lot of video games. This game was popular with girls. It was a scientific calculation that this set off a certain dopamine specifically in the female mind. What else go like this?
Tinder. What else?
Instagram.
What?
So dopamine is one of the brain's neurotransmitters. You know what I mean? It's like the thing that kicks off signals to the brain that says this is pleasure. You know what I'm saying? So the brain seeks after that pleasure and whatever it is. He just referenced Instagram. Say you post a picture, you know what I mean? You're posting it to get validation or to get a like or, somebody saying something to you or saying how good you look or whatever. That immediately sends dopamine to your brain to say, I want to seek after that feeling. And that's not just on social media. That's through the things that you eat. That's through sexual activities. That could be through pain. That could be through a lot of different things. But it affects your mind. Now think, as a black people, how much stuff we've been through that has trained and conditioned our mind to be a certain way, to see a certain way, to react a certain way. People think that seeing all this police brutality don't affect us. That trains our minds. As soon as we see the police, we clam up because we know what they're capable of. We know we done seen the Mike Browns and the Eric Garners and the Botham Jeans. And we done seen it, man. This affects our brain, our mental health. Let's keep going.
So the funny thing is the people that control that, rappers be talking about, I got your bitch. Instagram got your bitch. Instagram got your bitch. Like, I'm sorry, I know my Christian scorecard just went down for using a profane piece of language. You ain't got your Instagram, got all y'all. Because they going to do it for the gram before they do it to you. They going to send a picture to the gram before they send it to you. Social media doing more to hurt families than it is to help families, and families are the key to health.
No, I think it's very interesting that he brought up families because I totally agree with him. Family is the key to fixing all this that we going through. Families operating by the right standards. And it could be easily seen. Having a family that I'm very proud of because I know where we came from. It's like the world don't want to see that. Not even just the world, the people in your own surroundings. They don't show people the love that family should get. And I'm not saying I'm tripping off that. I'm totally comfortable in the skin that we in. We got a purpose, and we gonna work till we get it accomplished. Period. But you would think that seeing a black family doing all right would be something that you'd be like, man, that's okay, y'all. I'm proud of y'all. Like, man, I'm telling you, people will turn a blind eye to you so fast. Check out Solid 7 YouTube channel. See how we getting down. This is real, authentic family. This ain't no putting on. This ain't no none of that. We ain't doing jokes and spoofs and all these pranks and challenges. Like, we living life according to the standards of the Most High. We making it good. And people be like, but let my wife start a YouTube channel being a single mom with 3 kids and out here dressing all cute and posing. Like, she'd get all the love. Like, why is it that the dysfunction is cool to us? Due to mental health. We don't see things the way that we should. Mentally, we have been woe out. And that's why.
Y'all got to think, man, black people are like the housekeepers of America. Think about how your housekeeper, you know what I'm saying? They got a certain volume. They supposed to talk in the house. We got a certain volume. We supposed to talk in America. So what do you think if a housekeeper is screaming in my house? What do you think the other housekeeper going to tell them?
Be quiet.
Be quiet, yay.
Mm-hmm.
Be quiet, yay.
Mm-hmm. Don't disrupt the house.
Don't disrupt America, yay. We orphans out here, but don't disrupt. There is.
But what if some people feel like you siding with the slave master too? If we're in the house and it's the Trump household, it's like just like shit. You siding with the slave master. If we're both in the house and I see you rolling through wearing the red hat, I'm like, man, he just like this dude over here. And am I speaking that? Maybe. Or others speaking that? Maybe. But I'm saying, how do we separate that? If we're both in the house, we like, man, you know.
I'd rather deal with somebody who called me an N-word to my face than a person that signed me for a lifetime deal on a 255 page of my contract.
I got you.
I'd rather know what I'm dealing with. That's why when I walk in with any, I don't keep nothing on my chest. I'd be like, this is what I'm dealing with, but I'm here.
That's why I respect
This is what I'm dealing with. It has been institutionalized slave mastery and slavery. Our mentality is only one of the two. Now we need to find freedom. You got 2 forms of freedom: financial freedom and freedom through serving something higher than yourself.
Are you free now?
How, Sway?
That's enough. My man had to contemplate on that because you know you ain't. Family, mental health is very serious. I'm for real. To my people, take a break, man. Take a step back from all the stuff that we've been chasing. All the reality TV, the social media, the religions, and find out who you truly are and where you truly come from and what you truly supposed to be doing. That's the only way that your mental health will be returned, because right now the majority of us don't got it. It's just a fact. You could tell when the stuff that we seek after. Some of this stuff is unnatural. Some of this stuff is just downright nasty. Some of the stuff that we do, we're calling ourselves kings and queens. The majority of us is living like poo putts. You living like a bum. It's not right for you to call yourself a king and a queen when you got 4 kids and 4 baby daddies. You are not a queen. Mental health is important, man. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Like, subscribe, share. Much love, much respect. Shalom.